Hi, Dave.
Morning.
I just want to ask about the status of James Neal and Yamamoto. Are they injured or what's going on with them?
Yamamoto is day to day with an upper body injury, and James Neal is healthy and just not in the lineup.
Also want to ask you about this. You guys, both teams were on the second game of a back-to-back the other night, and you look kind of sluggish at times. Do you expect a bit more free-flowing game? I know you probably don't want that, but do you expect a bit more energy from both teams and a bit more free-flowing than maybe the last game was?
I think both teams were in the same boat. You know, we both played back to back, and then both teams had the day off yesterday, so there should be some more energy in the game. But the schedules have been hard for both teams here. So, but players got a full day of rest, so I think there'll be a little more juice in the game tonight, is what's to be expected anyway.
Jim Matheson, Post Media.
Dave, can you talk to why people look at Tyson Barrie as only an offensive defenseman, and people look at him and say, "Oh, he's not very good defensively." You've played a long time in this league. Are there defensemen that are perceived to be just offensive defensemen, and when they got the puck in their stick or whatever in their defensive zone, people look at him and go, "Oh, he's not very good"?
Well, part of playing good defense is having the puck. If you have the puck more than the other team, you're playing good defense, and he makes a lot of good plays out of our own end to take pressure off, so they don't defend as much. So that's also a part of defending, and he's helped our team offensively with puck movement on the power play, on the offensive side. But a lot of his defending, or that pair, they've defended less, that allows them to be better defenders.
And do you think any of Darnell's offense this year is because he's playing with Tyson, and some of Tyson's offensive ability is rubbed off on Darnell?
I think Darnell's really taken steps ahead, and all throughout his game. So has Barry's offensive ability beside him helped them? Sure, it has. I mean, they get, you're making some good plays, but I think Nurse has really taken a step forward in his own game in all parts of the game.
Ryan Ershog, TSN.
Dave, do you feel like this group is developing the type of game where you have a pretty good idea what they're going to give you night in, night out, like I guess that base game that they can rely on night in, night out? Do you sense that from them?
We have, we talk about it all the time, how we want to play our base game, and there's some games that it looks better than others, obviously, but we have a base structure we want to be. We feel like if we can hold that structure as long and as consistent as possible, it allows us to be real competitive. So, a different season where you're looking, you talk about it every day. We talk about it, it's like another playoff game. So your mistakes are crucial in games, and if you make too many of them, you're usually on the back end of the game. So you try to stay as consistent as possible. You want to keep structure strong, but you got to compete hard like it's a playoff game every night. And if we do that, we'll give ourselves a chance to win.
On Jujhar Khaira for tonight, I mean, he was skating on a line today. Looks like maybe he'll go. If you can just update us on his status, and maybe just, for those who watched what happened, and that's obviously hard to watch, and there's concern for players right now. Can you just give us a sense of all the measures that are in place to make sure that it is safe for him to go after something like that happened?
He's been different testings every day since he got hurt, and yesterday a long test, and today he has to come out, and he had to get some physical stuff done on the ice this morning. I haven't heard whether he's got the official clearance yet after practice here or not, but he's had a long week of testing and making sure everything is exactly how it should be, and he feels great. So hopefully that's the case. He can play tonight.
Kelly Moore, CGOB.
Hey, good morning, Dave.
Morning.
The stats at least show that your team has definitely had the upper hand in the second period in this series. Is there anything that shows up on videotape as to what has changed that around at all?
Yeah, there's some different stuff that we talk about in the second period, not just with this team, with every team, but I think that's probably just the way the games have gone. Sometimes it's got a little looser, and you got high-end talent at forward on both teams. You're going to create some stuff, especially when you catch people on changes and stuff like that. So that more than anything, that could have something to do with it.
And with the way these two teams are structured, or at least the way the Jets are structured, how does it become even more critical for the matchups and having home ice advantage from that perspective, or has that not been that big of a factor?
Well, it can become a factor, but I'm a big believer. There's two kind of matchups. There's a matchup that you hope they get advantage of, and then you can take the rhythm out of your team by trying to overmatch. So you got to get a feel for how the game's going. We have a situation, we trust all our lines, whoever they're against, and you put them out against a line, you expect them to do the job. And there's certain lines that are more dangerous to play against, but we have trust in all our guys. But from our standpoint, it's a lot about rhythm and how the game's going, and who we want on in certain situations. Sometimes more than what the other team is doing.
Jim Matheson, Post Media.
A couple of things here, Dave. Lagesson last game didn't play. You played Jones instead. Was that just a case of, you wanted to get Jones in the game, or was Lagesson a little banged up and looks like you're going back to Lagesson today?
Putting fresh legs in the other night. We put Nygaard in, and we put Jones in the other night for some fresh legs on the back-to-back.
And Tourist, is he still a healthy scratch?
He's coming off pro. Like, he didn't skate for 7 days, so he's come out. He has had a couple of good practices. He had a day off yesterday, so he'll get another good practice today. Hopefully he's available next week.